Remember what we was discussing in the last class?
Graphical procedures.
What graphical procedure we were discussing in the last class?
Proc G chart, sir.
Bar charts.
Proc
G chart.
G chart. What type of chart requests we can do? Remember, we have written proc G chart. Data is equal to data set name for which data set you want to have that one. Then remember what was the first statement we have written?
V bar. H bar.
Horizontal bar. H bar, I want to have analysis for, sex variable. And I told you by default, when you're writing H bar, what you're going to get, you're going to get the statistics. If you do not want to have a statistics, you should write no stats.
No stat.
And then I told you we can also write H bar 3D. But when you're writing H bar 3D, if you write any variable name, numerical variable, instead of taking an original values, it will take its own midpoints. But if you want to have midpoints, original midpoints, what is that option you should write? Discrete. And then, and again, since it's in a horizontal bar, by default, we'll get the statistics. If you do not want to have a statistics, you can write the no stat. And then we have seen V bar. I want to have vertical bar for sex variable. And I told you we can also request for V bar 3D. I want to have V bar 3D for height variable. And since height is a numerical variable, it will take its own midpoints. I'm writing the discrete option. I'm writing the discrete option. And then in the any bar, we can write, say, for example, C axis is equal to whatever the color you want, you can write it. And I told you, we can also write a C frame is equal to, if you want to have background color, we can write the C frame is equal to C text is equal to, if you want to have any color for the text, you can write the C text is equal to color. And then, iframe for, what is the purpose of iframe? If you want to have a watermark in the background, now we can write iframe. Space is equal to, if you want to have a space between the two bars, now we can specify the spacing space. And but if you want to have a width bars, width is equal to how much width you want to have, you can write it. And W outline is equal to, if you want to have an outline structure, you can W outline is equal to 4. And by default, you are going to get the frequencies. But if you want to have something else, so somewhere is equal to whichever variable you want to have, you can write somewhere is equal to. So you can write the variable name. And outside is equal to whatever the status that you want to have, you can write that one. Inside is equal to whatever the status that you want to have inside, you can write the inside is equal to, say for example, if you want to have a mean value, you can write the mean. And then we have seen, pie chart. I want to have pie chart for, weight variable. I'm writing weight and I'm going to write the discrete option. And we can also write pi 3D. And I want to have a structure phi 3D for the name variable. I'm writing pi 3D name variable. Then we can also write the donut chart, but I told you we are going to have a donut chart only for, we will not have a 3D, we'll not have only donut 2D. So I'm writing a discrete option. And after that, we have seen a star diagram, and I want to have a star plot for the name variable. And then we have seen block chart. Now I'm writing the block chart. You can write the block chart for whichever variable you want to have block chart. Now we can write that variable name. And you can write the run. We can write all the statements in one procedure. So that's why proc G chart is in a group procedure. That's why only run is not enough. You should also write the quit. And remember, apart from that, we have seen one more option called group is equal to. If I write the group is equal to, what is going to happen? whatever the value that you have written, you're going to get the groups. But instead of group, what you can write now, we can also write the subgroup. If you write the subgroup within one variable, within one bar, you're going to get all the groups. Now see, if I execute the program, I am going to have all the bars together. See, in the starting, we have written vertical bar for sex variable. Then we have written did you write the V bar 3D? Sorry. Now this time I'm writing H bar 3D. And one more time, I'm going to delete the previous graphs. Now I'm executing the program. I'm selecting all the program and executing. Now all the processes are going to get executed now. Now first see, we got a 2D structure for sex variable because we have written V bar and then V bar 3D for age variable. And then we have seen, sorry, H bar 3D. And then we have written V bar for sex variable. And then we have written V bar 3D for which variable? For height variable. And then I have written the subgroup. So in 62.5, we have one male and one female. And again, 66.5, we have one male and one female. We have a subgrouping. Otherwise, we got like in 1 bars. And then we have written the pie chart for weight variable. And we got that one. And then we have written pi 3D for name variable. And then we have written the donut chart. And then we have written the star plot. And then we did a block chart. So we can write all the procedures in one program. That's why this is called a group procedure. Since as a group procedure, only run statement is not enough. You should write the quit statement as well. Understand this one? This is what we have seen in the last class. Now, in today's class. So since we have completed G chart, in today's class, we are going to discuss about gplot. Proc gplot. Proc gplot is a processor that we use to generate plot diagrams. You know, when we were like in college, so we used to construct in a chemistry labs, chemistry graphs. Remember, you used to take two variables, one variable on x-axis, one variable on y-axis, where this x-axis variable and y-axis variable is going to get joined. There we are going to put a dot symbol. Then we used to connect all the dots from the zero. We used to connect all the graphs, and we used to write a line. I want to do that one. So if you want to do that one, we use a procedure called proc gplot. And this proc gplot procedure specifies one or more plot requests, as a conventional graph. Now to explain the proc gplot, in today's class, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a data set. And this data set contains, 5 variables. One is called as a year variable. Then we are going to have a high date, high value, low date, and low value. Say, for example, here I have a data set contains share values. First value we have a year from 1954 to 1985. For each year, we have one observation. And the next value that we have a H date, high date. And then we have a high. So that means in 1954, on what day the share value was the highest value, maximum value. On 31st December 54, the share value was 404. This was the highest value in 1954. In 1954, on what date the share value was the lowest value, minimum value. So it was 11th Jan 54, and the share value was 279.87. So in this way, from 1954 to 1985, on what date we have highest value, high value, maximum value, and what day we have the minimum value of the share. So these are the 5 variables that we have. And this is the data set I'm taking to explain proc gplot. And the data set name that we have is a DS. Clear this one? We have 5 variables and 32 observations. I'm taking this data set. Now I'm writing, proc gplot. Data is equal to data set name. I want to have this for DS data set. Now semicolon. Then we are going to write a statement called plot. Now on the left side, we should write the vertical axis variable, v-axis, into on the right side, we should write a horizontal axis variable. Understand? In general, in conventional method, v-axis nothing but an y-axis, h-axis nothing but an x-axis. But here we call v means vertical axis, which is nothing but an a y. H-axis means horizontal axis, which is nothing but a x-axis. Okay, now on vertical axis, I want to have a high value. I'm writing high. On a horizontal axis, I want to have a year value. I'm writing, say, for example, year. Then I am writing a run statement, and this is also in a group procedure. We should write the quit statement. Okay, now I'm selecting this program and executing the program. Now, can you see this is how we are going to have a graph? Can you see here? This is a horizontal axis. On the horizontal axis, we have from 1950 to 1990. We have one value for every 10 years. And then on v-axis, vertical axis, we have from 400 to 1600. And what we have there, we have, share value, high value. Now, 1954, the share value is around 400, where the year value and the share value is getting connected, joined. There we are going to have a plus symbol. This is 1955, around 500. 1956, we have around 550 or something. So, ఎక్కడైతే వర్టికల్ యాక్సిస్ హారిజంటల్ యాక్సిస్ రెండు కూడా ఇంటర్ కనెక్ట్ అవుతాయో దేర్ వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు హ్యావ్ ఎ ప్లస్ సింబల్. అండర్స్టాండ్ దిస్ వన్? Now, if I execute the program, now can you please tell me how we have the values on horizontal axis? On horizontal axis, we have values from 1950 to 1990, and which has been we have 1950, 60, 70, 1980, and 90. That means we have one value for every 10 years. But I do not want to have in this way. I want to have for every 5 years. 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, like that one. Now, if you want to have midpoints in that way, now plot statement high into year forward slash, we should write h-axis is equal to, which means horizontal axis is equal to. I want to have it from 1950 to, I want to have it up to 1990. How I want to have? By 5. So now we are getting one value for every 5 years. Can you see? We have 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, like that. But if I want to have one value for every 1 year, then what we should do now? We should write 1950 to 1990 by 1. Now, if I execute the program, now we are going to have for every 1 year. But it looks not so good. What I want to have it for every 10 years. If you want to have it for every 10 years, now what we should write? You should write by 10. Now select the program and execute it. Now this is how we are going to have. In the same way, now can you see on vertical axis how we have values? We have 400, 500, 600. That means we have for every 100. So that means now right now we have one more option called, v-axis. Vertical axis is equal to, we have from 400 to, we have 1600, and how we have by 100. But I want to have it for every 50. Now I'm writing by 50. If I specify by 50, now we are going to have 400, 450, 500 and 550, 600 and 650. In that way, we are going to have. So now I want to have only by 100. Now I'm going to change that into by 50 into by 100. Now then it looks easy. Clear this one? Now, can you tell me from which year the share values we have a sudden rise? From which year we have suddenly we have raised that high share values? Any idea? Give me a value. From which year we have that one?
1954.
From 1954 we have, but from maybe from 1965 we have a sudden rise in the share value, isn't it? Here, I want to have a reference line here, so that it is going to indicate from where we can focus that one. If you want to have a reference line from the 1965, now we are going to use an option called H reference is equal to HREF is equal to, I am writing 1965. Now, if I specify HRF is equal to 1965, we are going to have a reference line at the year 1965. Now, in the same way, I want to have one more focus line at 1985. If you want to have one more focusing line, reference line at 1985, then what we should do now in the same statement, I am writing 1985, so that we are going to get two lines. So one is at 1965, and another one is at 1985, so that we can focus from 65 to 85. But I want to have one line for each year. If you want to have in that way, I'm going to specify 1965 to 1985. If I execute the program, now I'm going to get one line for each year. It doesn't look that much good. Now I do not want to have one line. Now simply I'm writing 1965 space 1985, so that we'll get one line at 65 and one line at 85. Now in the same way, here we have more values in this region. Now I want to have one focus line at 850. So in this direction, I want to have one line. If you want to have a direction in this direction, if you want to have a line, then what we should do now? We should write, V reference is equal to, vertical reference is equal to, I want to have it at 850. Now I'm specifying 850. Now this is how we are going to get it. Now, in the same way, I want to have one more line at 10,050. If you want to have a line at 1050, then what we should do? We should at 850 space 1050. Now, if I execute the program, I am going to have one more line at the 1050. But these are the continuous values on vertical axis. What is going to happen if I specify 850 to 1050? You will not get one line. We are going to get in a solid block like this, and because those are the continuous values, now we are getting the solid block like this one. But doesn't look that much good. Now I'm going to specify 850 space 1050. So we are getting one line at 850 on a horizontal axis and one at 1050. And by the way, remember in the last class, if you want to have a color, to this box, tell me what was the option we have written? At the same year also. Now I'm writing, say, for example, C axis is equal to, I want to have a red color. And what we have written, remember, if you want to have background color, C frame is equal to, I want to have an yellow color. And then C text is equal to, I want to have a green color. Now I'm writing C text is equal to green. Now select all the program and execute the program. Now this is how we are going to have. So we have a red color to the C axis, background, we have yellow color, and we have a text green color. If you do not want to have background color, if you want to have a picture, tell me what we should do. You should write iframe is equal to, I want to apply the picture in the background. Now here I have in a folder. In this folder, I have in a picture. I want to add that one. Maybe I want to add this picture, shift right click. I told you, whatever the picture that you want to add, that picture must be in which format? JPG format. Yes, sir. Now go to the program. Now I'm writing iframe is equal to, the JPG picture. Now select the program and execute the program. Now this is how we are going to get it. Understand this one? But we are getting there, two picture, but if you keep that in that proc, paint option, and then if you cut that one, you will get it as only one background picture. I didn't copy that one, save that one properly. That's why we are getting two pictures like that one. Now, this time, I'm taking the picture because it's going to be very confusing. I don't want to have this much lengthy thing. I'm taking that one out. Now I'm writing this one. If you see this one on horizontal axis, so on the left side, what was the starting value that we have here? 1950. And what is the right side value that we have? 1990. But I want to have 1990 this side, 1950 the other side. If you want to have in that way, what is this axis? This is horizontal axis. So now I'm writing, an option called H reverse. Specify H reverse, what is going to happen? And actually, we have from 1950 to 1990, but this time we are going to have a mirror image to that one. We are going to have from 1990 to 1950. In the same way, I want to have 1600 down and I want to have 400 on the up. If you want to have in that way, then what we should do? I should write V reverse. If I specify, V axis reverse, then we are going to have the reverse order. Clear, everybody? I'm writing proc gplot. Data is equal to data set name, which is a DS data set. I'm writing a plot statement on that, vertical axis. I want to have a high value into on the horizontal axis. I want to have an year value. Now semicolon run. I'm writing the quit. Where this high value and year value both are going to get intersected there. What is the symbol we are getting by default? Plus symbol, right? Now I do not want to have plus symbol, something else, by default, now I'm writing high into year is equal to. Now within the quotations, now each special character is going to have one symbol. Now I'm writing at the rate symbol. If I use the at the rate symbol, this is how I'm going to get a special character. Now, instead of that at the rate symbol, this time I'm writing an hash symbol. Hash symbol is going to have a different one. I think so we're getting heart symbol. Now, instead of a hash symbol, if I write a next special character, which is a dollar symbol, and this is how we are going to get it. So each special character is going to have one. Now, instead of dollar symbol, now this time I am writing in a percentage symbol. I think you will get clubs. So by default, what we are going to have? Plus symbol. You know why? By default, we are going to have a reverse cup. This we are going to have. That's why we will get the plus symbol. Clear, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Now I'm writing like this one. I am writing proc gplot. Data is equal to data set name. I am writing a plot statement. I am writing high into year, semicolon. Then I'm writing the run. And then how many graphs I will get now? I will get two. I will get high into year one graph. So year is going to be in horizontal axis, and high is going to be on vertical axis. But now I want to have a two graphs. Since I want to have a two graphs, now in the same statement, now I'm writing low into year. That means you can request for two graphs. But if I execute the program, I will get both the graphs, but I will get both the graphs separately like this one. First, this is a high into year, and now this is low into year. But I want to have both the images in the same graph, both the values in the same graph. If you want to have both the values on the same graph, now we should high into year space, low into year, forward slash, we should use an option called overlay. So in both we have year common. So year is going to be come on horizontal dimension, and the values are going to come, high and low values are going to come on vertical axis. So both are going to get pointed out like this one. Understand this one? Now we have two different types of plus symbols. Can you see there? We have one plus symbol, blue color, another one is the red color. So if you want to have both the graphs in one diagram, we are going to use an option called overlay. Overlay is going to produce both in one. Understand? Now, again, I want to have only one. Now I'm writing the high into year. So I should write proc gplot data is equal to data set name ds. I am writing in a plot statement. I want to have it for high into year. I'm writing high into year, semicolon run. If I execute the program, this is how we are going to write. And now where that high value and year value both are going to get pointed, there we are going to have a plus symbol. Now I want to connect these plus symbols to, horizontal axis like this one. If you want to do that one, now we are going to use a graphical global option, and we use an option called, we create a statement called symbol. In the symbol, we are going to use an option called interpolation, or I is equal to. Interpol or interpolation or I is equal to. I want to have a needle structure, so I am writing I is equal to needle. And then color is equal to, I want to have a red color, C is equal to red. Then I want to have a value or V is equal to, I want to have, say, for example, dot. Now I'm writing a one symbol then. Now this symbol is a global option. Now if I execute the program, now can you see how we are getting this one? So interpol is equal to needle. Now we are going to have a needle structure. Since I said C is equal to red, we are getting the red color, and the value is equal, since I specified the dot, we are getting the dot symbols at the end of the needle. Now, instead of that, dot, if you want to have, say, for example, diamond, now we can specify diamond. Now, if you specify the diamond, you will get the diamond structure at the tip of that needle. Instead of that one, I want to have star. I'm going to specify the star. Now you'll get the star structure at the end of that needle. So triangle, you can write the triangle, circle, square, dot, whatever that special symbol that you want to have, we can write it. Understand this one? Now I want to have two graphs. Now in the same, I'm writing low into year. So I'm writing low into year. By the way, I want to have both in one diagram. So I'm writing an option called overlay. If I specify the overlay option, now both are going to come in one diagram. But now I want to have those needle structures for low into year also. But how many symbols we have written? We have written only one symbol, global option. So this symbol is applying for this one. In the same way, I want to create one more symbol. Now, since I'm creating two symbols, so now if I write again symbol, both are going to get overwrite. So that's why for this, I'm writing a symbol 1, so that I should write the symbol 2 for this one. Again, interpolation is equal to, I'm writing the needle. Color is equal to, this time I want to have a green color. Value is equal to, this time I want to have a circle. I'm writing that one. So since we require two symbols, I have given both the symbols. Now this is how we're going to have. Clear, everybody? After that. This time I'm writing a graph again. Now this time I am writing proc gplot. Data is equal to class data set. I am writing a plot statement. I want to have it for high into year. I'm writing high into year. And then I'm writing the run statement and quit statement. In the previous example, I have written the symbol. There I have written interpol is equal to needle. So we got the needle structures. What happened?
Sir, DS, sir.
Don't have class.
Now we got like this one. Those are the global options. Once you have written the global option, the same option is going to get applied for the next graph also. If you want to disable those global options, what we should write? If you want to cancel that one, if you want to get into the default, you should write G options reset is equal to all. If I execute the program, everything is going to come to normal. So the default, so now we are going to have only default structure. But this time, what I want to connect all the plus symbols so that I want to have a line. Understand? If you want to have in this way, now I'm going to write one more global option called again symbol. This time, interpolation is equal to, I am writing, join. Color is equal to, I want to have a red color. And the value is equal to, I want to have a star. Now select the program and execute it. Now this time, this is how we are going. Since I have written the interpolation is equal to join, and this is how we are going to get it. Understand this one? Now I want to have both the graphs high into year. Now I'm writing, say, for example, low into year also. I want to overlay it both. Now I'm writing, overlay. Now, but since I'm writing overlay, we should have two symbols. Now, first of all, I'm writing a symbol 1, then I'm writing the symbol 2 also. Symbol 2. This time, interpolation is equal to, for this also, I am writing the join. Color is equal to, I want to have a green color, and value is equal to, I want to have maybe square. Now select the program and execute it. Now this is how we are going to get it. So now we have both the graphs in one diagram so that you can easily compare in the high value into year and the low value into year so that you can get an idea. Yes. Clear this one? This is how we are going to plot a gplot statement. This is how we are going to write a program. Clear, everyone? No.
So what about legend? We can give legend option.
Yeah. Yes.
In graph legend.
Mm-hmm. Up to this point, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now what I want to do, I want to show you a small real-time graph. Okay. So that you can understand how we read the graph in the real time. Okay. To explain the real-time graph, I'm going to take a sample data set. Now, this is my data. I want to have 3 variables. The first one is treatment. The second one is visit. Third one is the drug response. Okay, treatment, visit, and response. Now I want to create a data set called response. I'm writing the response data set. Okay, I'm writing input statement. I want to have the first variable TRT treatment. The second variable I want to have a visit. And the third variable I want to have a response. Tell me, if I execute the program, how many observations I will get, by the way? How many observations I will get?
11.
But unfortunately here we have two observations in one line. Tell me, what is that option I should write? Okay, to get 22 observations. Anybody? When we have a multiple observations in one line, one record, what is that option I should write?
Double trailing.
Very good. You should write the double trailing method. Now I have it in the double trailing method. Now if I execute the program, now I'm going to have a 22 observations. Otherwise, I would have only 11 observations. Now we have 22 observations. Okay. And by the way, I want to apply the labels for all the three variables. So TRT is equal to, I am writing, I want to have it as a treatment. I am writing the treatment. And the next will visit. And for the visit, I want to have it as a visit only, but in a proper case, I'm writing visit. And the third variable is response is equal to, I want to have mean clinical response. Okay. Now, if I execute the program, I will have a data set called response. In that we have three variables, and this is how we have. I want to use this data set to explain a small real-time graph. Now tell me, I want to construct a what you call a gplot. Tell me what the program you should write. Proc gplot data is equal to the data set name, which is response. Okay. And now I'm writing a plot statement. And by the way, on the horizontal axis, I want to have a visit. On the vertical axis, I want to have a response. So then what should I write now? Response into visit. Now I'm writing the run statement, and then I'm writing the quit statement. Now select this entire program and execute it. Now we are going to have a graph like this one. See, we have a visit on the horizontal axis, and we have a response on vertical axis. Clear, everybody? Now, by the way, when we have a 0, I want to print as a baseline. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, 7, 8, 9. So instead of 1, I want to have a day 1. Instead of 0, I want to have a baseline. So if you want to display 0 as a baseline, what we should do? I have original values from 0 to 10, but I want to display in a different way. What we should do? Any idea? We should apply. What we should do? We should apply a format. Background elapsed number of days ఉంటాయి. మీకు డేట్ కింద కావాలంటే డిస్ప్లే అవ్వాలంటే ఏం చేస్తారు? Format apply చేస్తారు. In the same way, I want to display 0 as a baseline, 1 as a day 1, 2 as a day 2. Then what should I do? I should apply format. Do you have any such format available? No. Then what we should do? We should create our own formats. Now I'm writing a proc format statement. Now value. I'm creating a format. I'm creating a format for visit. So I'm writing a format name itself is a visit. Then tell me if the original value is 0, how you want to display? I want to display it as a baseline. Setting the baseline. Then if the value is 1, how I want to display? If the value is 1, I want to display as a day 1. In the same way, if the value is 2, how I want to display? Day 2. Now, if it is 2, then 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I want to have it as a 10. If it is 10, I want to have it as a day 10. This is 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now I'm creating a format like this one. I want to use the format. First of all, I'm executing the program. Venkatram. Mr. Venkatram. Keep your mic on mute. Now I created a format now. I want to use the format. Now I'm going back to the proc gplot. If you want to apply the format, what is the statement you should write? Format. For which variable you want to apply the format? For visit variable. Now what is the format that we created? Visit dot. Now select the program and execute the program. Okay, you see now what it is printing now? Instead of 0 to 10, it is printing whenever we have a 0, we are having the baseline. 1 as a day 1, 2 as a day 2, and so on and so on. And now, do you know what is this plus 1? This plus 1 is what type of treatment it is? We don't know. I want to know what treatment it is. Then what I'm going to do, I am going to write, this, what axis this is, anybody? I told you this is called vertical axis into horizontal axis. Is equal to, we are going to vertical axis into horizontal axis is equal to, we are going to independent variable. Now, independent variable I'm writing as in TRT. We can write the third variable like this one. If I write vertical axis into horizontal axis is equal to independent variable, now this is how we are going to get it. Now tell me, which one is what treatment? Can you see now we have a legend at the down? Can you see the legend at the down?
Yes, sir. Blue one is the day
blue
one.
color plus one. Blue one is the treatment one, and the plus is red color plus is treatment.
Treatment two.
Because in the data we have two types of treatments. This is a treatment one, and this is a treatment two. Now, when we have a treatment one, I want to have it as a super drug. If it's a treatment two, I want to have a old drug. So ఎక్కడైతే 1 అని ఉందో నాకు సూపర్ డ్రగ్ అని కావాలి, 2 ఉంటే కనుక ఓల్డ్ డ్రగ్ అని కావాలండి. Again, what we should do?
Format.
You should create a format and you should use that one. Now I am writing in a statement called value statement. I want to create a format called TRT. If it is a value is 1, I want to have it as a super drug. If the value is 2, I want to have an old drug. So I'm writing old drug. If I execute the program, yes, I'm going to have one more user-defined format called TRT. I want to apply that one. Now in the same format statement, for the TRT, I'm using TRT dot. Now select the program and execute it. Now we are going to have, instead of 1, can you see what we are getting? Super drug. Instead of 2, we are getting the old drug. Clear so far? Now, here we have on horizontal axis, we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means, how we have midpoints? Remember, a few minutes back, I told you, response into visit /. Now, if you want to control that one, I told you we should x-axis is equal to h-axis is equal to what we should write? That means we have like this one, 0 to 10 by how we have? 1. Okay. In the graph, we are getting 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that one. But if I write a 0 to 10 by 0.5, tell me what is going to happen?
0.5, 1, 1.5.
We're going to have 0, 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5 like that one. But we applied the format for only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is how we are going to get it. Now, can you see baseline 0.5, day 1, 1.5, day 2. But if I write here, this is going to apply for only for this graph. But now, instead of writing like this one, what I want to do, I want to create a global option so that whenever I want to, I can use. For whichever graph I want to, I can use it. అంటే ఇప్పుడు నేను హారిజంటల్ యాక్సెస్ ని ఇక్కడ రాశాను అనుకోండి, ఇది ఓన్లీ ఈ గ్రాఫ్ కి యూజ్ అవుతుంది. But I want to use it for any graph, so that I should create a global option. How to create a global option for horizontal axis? So now I'm not writing here. What I'm going to do, I want to create a global option called axis. Now I'm creating an axis 1 global option. In the axis 1, now I'm going to get an option order is equal to. Now within the parentheses, now I'm writing, say for example, what I'm writing now, 0 to 10 by 1. Of course, by default, we have 0 to 1 by 1. Now I'm writing that same thing. Now, sorry, what is the global option I created now? Axis 1. Now I want to use this axis 1 in this graph. So now response into visit is equal to TRT. Then I'm writing, this axis 1, I want to use it for horizontal axis. Now I'm writing H axis is equal to axis 1. So that means whatever the axis 1 I created, I'm using for which axis for? I'm using for horizontal axis. So now we can use this axis for not only for this graph, you can use it for any graph because it's in a global option now. Understand this one? Now, what are the other things that you can do apart from now? You can order 0 to 1, 0 to 10 by 1 and the 2 and so if I execute this one, now we are going to have a global option. If I use that one, now we are going to have, sorry, you'll get a date 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 like that one. Okay. Now I want to have it by 1, I'm writing by 1. And after this one, now in the same axis one, now so far we have created order. Now this time I am writing a value. Value ante ganaka chudandi, ee horizontal axis low, whatever the value that we have, I want to change, modify this. I want to interpret this one. Now it looks very small. I want to increase the size. Now value is equal to, now within the parentheses, now I am writing height or h is equal to. H is equal to, now I want to have height 2. Now, if I execute this one, if I execute the program later, now this is how we are going to have the size. Can you see this one? But it looks very big. I don't want to have that much. I want to have only 1.5. Now I'm writing height is equal to 1.5. Now that I'm applying for horizontal axis, this is how we are getting. But it looks very awkward. This allow the 90 degrees angle only, 90 degrees unto vertical print out. I want to have in 45 degrees angle. If you want to have in that way, then I am going to write, before height, now I'm writing, say, for example, angle or A is equal to, I want to have a 45 degrees. Now select this entire program and execute it. Now we are getting the 45 degrees. Now this is 90 degrees. Looks good. I'll keep like that one. Now, here we have visit very small. I want to have bigger size. This is a label I want to apply. Now in the same axis one, now this time I'm writing a new option called a label is equal to, now within the parentheses, what is the label I want to have? I want to have a visit in proper case. I'm writing a visit. And I want to have a green color. I want to have a purple color. C is equal to, I'm writing the purple. Height is equal to, I want to have height, 2. And if I select the program, execute it, now this is how we are going to get it. Can you see? We are getting purple color, height, we are getting 2. But I want to have this on to the left side, before this one, now I'm writing, say, for example, we can write justification is equal to left. So that means now this, whatever that label that we have, this will come into left side. In the same way, on the right side, I want to have one more. I want to have, at names HYD. So in the same, now this time I'm writing justification is equal to or. What I want to have, I want to have, say, for example, at names HYD. And again, I want to have a color, blue color, and I want to have a height 2. I'm writing. So select the program and execute it. Now on the horizontal axis at the right side, we are getting in this way. Understand this one? So I created axis 1. Am I using that axis 1 for horizontal axis? Can you see here between the base and day 1, we are getting some small lines here. If you do not want to have these lines, now we are going to write one more option called minor is equal to. You can write none. If you specify minor is equal to none, all the small lines which are present between 0 to 1 and those is going to be get suppressed. Now I want to create one more axis, like axis 1. I want to create axis 2. I want to use that axis 2 for vertical axis. So now I'm creating one more global option called axis 2. I'm writing axis 2. Then what should I write now? Order is equal to, again here also, I want to have 0 to 10 by 1. Now it's in the same thing. Now I'm writing this time value is equal to, now I want to have, angle is equal to 45 degrees. Height is equal to, here also I want to have 1.5. I'm writing the same thing. Keep a semicolon. Now I'm creating axis 2. I want to use this axis 2 for horizontal axis, vertical axis. Now I'm writing b axis is equal to axis 2. So I'm creating a global axis, then I'm using that global axis for vertical axis. Now this is how it is going to print. Can you see this one? With size 2, and we have a different angle. I want to have, instead of 45, I want to have a 90 degrees angle, right? The 90 degrees angle. Now this is how it is going to print. I want to have a color for this. Now, again, what we should do before, wherever I'm writing the value, now I'm writing C is equal to, I want to have a red color. Now I'm writing C is equal to red. Now we execute the program. Now we are going to have a red color. But can you see how this mean clinical response is printing? It is printing horizontal, but I want to have like this one so that it will require less space in this direction. So then what we should do? Now in the axis 2, I am writing a label is equal to. Now within the parenthesis, angle is equal to, I want to have 90 degrees. Color is equal to, I want to have maybe green color. Then height is equal to, again, I want to have 1.5. And by the way, what I want to have it as a mean clinical response. Okay, now select the program and execute the program. Now this is how we are going to get it. Can you see? Mean clinical response, 90 degrees, green color. Think is that a 2 as applied? What is that size I'm giving? Height 1.5 is not enough. I will give the 2, so it will appear a little bit bigger. Understand this one? Now, in the same way, tell me, I want to connect all these lines. If you want to connect all these lines, what we should write? Remember? Write symbol. Now, first of all, since we have two treatments, I'm writing the symbol 1. Now, interpolation is equal to, I want to join. Color is equal to, I want to have a red color. Value is equal to, I want to have a star. I'm writing that one. Now, automatically, the symbol is going to get applied for the first treatment, like this one. So I want to, for the second treatment also, I want to have a symbol. Then what should I do now? I am going to write the second symbol because we have two different types of treatments. So now I'm writing a symbol 2. This time interpolation is equal to, I want to have a join. Color is equal to, I want to have a green color. Value is equal to, I want to have a dot. I'm writing the dot. Select all the programs together and execute it. And this is how I'm going to get it. By the way, from when we are starting the treatment, we are starting the treatment from the day 1. I want to have a reference line from the day 1 because the baseline before the treatment, I don't want to have that one. I want to have one focusing line. I told you if you want to have a line, what we should do? We should write H reference is equal to, I want to have a reference line at a 0.9. Now select the program and execute it. Now we are going to have a reference line at 0.9 so that we can understand, okay, from here we started the treatment. Now, this is called a legend, I told you. Generally, we get this legend at the outside of the graph, but I want to have this legend inside. I want to have on the top, on the right side. So for legend also, we create a global option. And what is the global option I'm creating? I'm creating a global option called legend one. Now I'm writing legend one. For the legend one also, you can write a position. Where I want to have this one? Position is equal to, now within the parentheses. So I want to have on the top of the graph. I want to have on the right side, right? And I want to have inside the graph. Now we should write the inside. Now I created a global option called legend one. I want to use that in my program. Now go to the plot statement. Now we should write legend is equal to, what is the legend I created? Legend one. Now, if I execute the program, now see what is going to happen. Now that legend is going to come on the top right side inside. But now, what I want to do, this treatment, I want to have a label. I want to have a bigger in size. I want to have some kind of color. If you want to have in that way, now in the legend, now I'm writing the label option. Label is equal to, now within the parenthesis, what is the label I want to have? I want to have it as a treatments, colon symbol. And now height is equal to, I want to have 1.5, I'm writing 1.5. And then color is equal to, I want to have maybe red color, I'm writing C is equal to red. Now select this entire program and execute it. Now this is how we are going to get it. Okay. Now I want to get one after the other, not in the same line. Now what I should write now? Now in the legend, now we are going to use one more option called down is equal to 2. If I specify that down is equal to 2, it is going to come one after the other. So we are going to get both the drugs like this one. Now I want to have everything in one box. So if you want to have one box, now we should write frame. And you should also write, mode is equal to protect. If I specify mode is equal to protect, and if I specify that one in the label legend, now if I execute the program, we are going to have whatever. We are going to get everything in a box. We are getting like this one. Okay. Now, if you want to have different colors for the super drug and old drug also, now what I should do, now in the same legend, now this time I'm writing an option called value. Value is equal to, the first one, I want to have it as you should write it within the parenthesis. Now I am writing, say, I want to have it as a super drug. Now I'm writing the super drug. This is, I want to have an orange color. C is equal to orange. And I want to have height is equal to 1. And second, then justification is equal to height. The same way, this time I want to have, whole drug. And for this, I want to have justification is equal to, right? So this is, I want to have a left side. The color is equal to, I want to have maybe magenta. And then height is equal to, I want to have a 1. Okay, now select this entire thing and execute the program. Now this is how we are going to get it. But I want to have both on the right side only. Now I will write right. And now I want to have a title. Now you know how to apply the title. Now I'm writing the title. Super drug versus old drug. Now select the, execute the program. Now we are going to have a title as well. You know that, right? If you want to apply any styles for the title, how we are going to apply? I want to have a title a little bit bigger. Height is equal to, you can write whatever that height you want to have. Color is equal to, You can write whatever the color that you want to have. Font is equal to F is equal to, you can write, I want to have an, Comic Sans MS, but you can write it anyway. And I want to have in a bold, I'm writing that bold. This is how we're going to get. Clear, everybody? This is how we write a real-time graph.
Sir,
So yes,
if we want to have the super drug for this red color line, we have to mention there itself. How to do that?
I didn't get you. Super drug
This
key.
line. సూపర్ డ్రగ్ లైన్ ఉంది కదా సార్, అక్కడే దానికి స్పెసిఫిక్ గా అక్కడ నేమ్ ఇవ్వాలి. అక్కడ పైన కాకుండా లైన్ కి పక్కన నేమ్ ఇవ్వాలంటే
Here we won't get it. No, you will not get that one. You can get only the legend.
ఓకే.
Clear, everybody? As I said, we have too many options for the SAS graphs, but we cannot discuss all the graphs because it's going to take, as I said, it's going to take 1 week to 10 days time. So I have discussed all that graphs that for for intermediate programmer. Okay. So during the project work, I will explain 1 or 2 real-time graphs again. Okay. Okay then. So this is about the graph process. In tomorrow's class, we'll discuss about the ODS. Give me 1 second. Okay then. See you in tomorrow's class.
So share the notes, sir.
Sir, please share the notes.